Welcome everybody watching SGTV here. I am Tommy Cooper here with Spencer Ball in Irmo, South Carolina tonight to watch the South Carolina Gamecocks take on the Georgia Bulldogs. Spencer, we got a good one here tonight, don't we?
Yeah, really excited to see these two teams face off. As we saw this past Saturday, the game played out on the gridiron, favored the Bulldogs very heavily, but we'll see what Hockey has to say about that tonight.
Would absolutely love to see someone say that Carolina is a club hockey school after that football score. It's going to be a pretty tough matchup, though. The Bulldogs last year were the College Hockey South champions, beating FAU 4-2 in the final. So we'll see if the Gamecocks have what it takes to get a win here tonight.
Yeah, they've looked pretty good thus far on the season, and just last Friday they defeated the College of Charleston 3-1 with goals by Tommy Locken, Nick Lindstad, and Brendan Flaherty. And definitely a great game from them all around.
Absolutely, and looking ahead for the Gamecocks, next week is Clemson Hate Week. We got Clemson September 30th. After that, we take a trip to Ole Miss and visit Coastal Carolina as well. So looking to get a little bit of momentum here as we go into our rival week as well.
Yep, and for the Bulldogs, they did fall to Tennessee this past week 6-0, and then in two straight games they defeated the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raiders 3-2, and then the next day 13-2.
I mean, 13-2 is an amazing score. They had two players with hat-trick, as Massaros and Punzenberger, and then Bidja and Burnett both had 3 assists as well. Those are the goal and assist leaders. So looking to slow those guys down with our defense here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Last week, Gamecocks took on College of Charleston. Not a great hockey program, as they didn't have a lot of depth at all, playing mostly the same players for much of the match. But this week, it's definitely going to be a lot more of a challenge, and we'll see how the Gamecocks kind of adapt their approaches. Last week, they were in the offensive zone for much of the game. We'll see if Georgia, allows them to do that. I doubt it. I think there's going to be a lot more back and forth. And we'll have to see how each player performs today.
Absolutely. South Carolina's going to be a lot more defensive as well. You said they were in the offensive zone plenty times. At the end of the first period, for example, the shot count was 24-4 in favor of the Gamecocks. And in total, after 2 periods, the College of Charleston only had 8 shots. So they couldn't have gone over 15-20, which is just not the best performance when you're looking at a club hockey team.
Yeah, definitely. We saw the Gamecocks use a lot of their speed, and they would kind of take some gambles. They would send a lot of pretty much all 5 men into the offensive zone and just trust in their speed to get back and help out goalie Zach Hayes, who also had a great game. The defense did sometimes allow some one-on-one opportunities, and he did make some great saves to, keep only one goal on the board.
Absolutely, and a shout out to Charleston goalie as well on the defensive side for Charleston last game. Carolina was putting plenty of shots, as I said, 24 in the first period alone. So the high shot volume, we'll see if Georgia's goalie is going to be able to replicate what College of Charleston did.
Yeah, also with the two-way players last week, we saw a defenseman, Brendan Flaherty, get in on the scoring action, and as well as a lot of the wingers get back and play some great defense for Hockey. And we'll see if that continues to be a trend tonight as well.
Most of the Gamecock players are very, very mobile and very versatile as well. As you said, some defensive men can play forwards and vice versa. It's very interesting to see that happen, and we're going to see how much they're able to do that tonight against a stout Georgia team.
And on the defensive end, the Gamecocks also last week used a lot of traps. They would trap whoever had the puck against the boards, try and take it away from them, and create some opportunities with a numbers advantage on the attacking side. And that's another thing to look out for, because that allowed their offense to get ahead of the defense, maybe set up some passing attacks or shots on goal, and we'll see if that becomes another theme tonight.
Sure, and one thing that the Georgia Bulldogs do have that College of Charleston doesn't is subs. Last week there were maybe 5 guys on the bench for College of Charleston, so their guys are going to be a lot more active and a lot more ready to go, adrenaline pumping and everything. So it's sure to be an action-packed game here as soon as the puck drops.
Yeah, both teams definitely looking to have around the same number of players, so we'll see the rotations not have as big of an effect as they did last week, as the Gamecocks were just able to stay fresher and for longer. So.
Absolutely, and experience is on Georgia's side this season specifically. They're 2-1. They've already played 3 games, and of course, losing to Tennessee, like we said, but Middle Tennessee State beat them 2 times in a row, whereas Carolina only played their first game last weekend. So boys are still pretty fresh, hoping for a good night from everyone out there.
Definitely. In some future games for Georgia, they'll have a little New York road trip, as they will play this upcoming Friday. They play at Buffalo State, then at St. Bonaventure, and then also at Niagara University, before returning home to Athens to play Auburn on October 6th and then again on the 7th.
Absolutely. Gamecocks are stout on defense, as we saw clearly in the first game, but they are going to have to stop 2 players from having hat tricks again. Georgia's a very high-powered offense, as you can see in the 13 goals scored against Middle Tennessee State, nonetheless. But I believe in Georgia's defensemen and see that they're going to be able to get a couple stops here tonight, as well as Hayes, the goalie.
Yeah, and if you give up 13 goals, it's going to be really, really difficult to win a game like that. So if that happens tonight for the Gamecocks, it's going to be a real tough ask from this offense to put up 13 goals.
Absolutely. Looking to not repeat football score here.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. Another thing to point out here is we still have about a minute and a half left on the warm-ups before we announce starting lineups. Definitely got a packed crowd here tonight in Irmo.
Absolutely. People showed up a little bit late, but as always, Cock Hockey is a great experience to come to. Hopefully get the guys rallied tonight and give them a little boost of energy to get this win here.
Yeah, and with Parents Weekend happening, this weekend at the university, I see a couple parents in the crowd, maybe their kids showing off, here's this great club hockey team. You got to drive a little bit out of the beaten path to get here. But nonetheless, the boys in garnet and black always put on a show.
Well, me personally, Spencer, I think that 25-minute drive is absolutely worth it. Watching Cock Hockey play is one of the best things here to do at the university.
Especially being in the South, it's not something hockey's not, of course, the most popular sport. So seeing it get some love and definitely, lots of love. You see the packed crowd here tonight. Definitely is something really cool to see.
Absolutely. South Carolina versus Georgia nonetheless. 2 heavily Southern teams.
Yeah, definitely. It's, at some point you'd love to see maybe move on from the club level, get some division-ranked teams. That would definitely be a spectacle to see.
Absolutely. Get the boys a little experience and more collegiate play outside of the club level. Starting lineups coming up here in just a minute, and right after that will be the puck drop.
And Gamecock fans, I have one question for you. Are you ready?
Puck drop coming here as we get to start this very exciting game. Back on the Gamecock defensive slide. Hayes back out. Hit the goalie though. Against the glass here. Back all the way behind the net. Out here to Chong now. Put it up to this neutral zone here for the forward. But it went by him into Georgia's defensive area. Up and around the wall here. One more time up in the air. And brought down and controlled by the Gamecocks. Put up forward again. That's icing. First icing call of the game against the Gamecocks. Pretty exciting right out of the gate here, Spencer.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's going to be a more evenly matched match here this week, as Georgia already trying to get into their offensive zone early.
Absolutely. We first face off here in the Gamecock side. Got Santoro there for it, and Georgia controlled at the top of the key now. Somewhat of a shot, but went off the back. And Santoro with the puck now. Georgia gets it back, but poked out by the Gamecocks. Pineda's there, fighting for it, but goes across. Closest one is Bulger now, back to the middle. Went through the legs of McGowan. McGowan fighting for it with the Georgia player. Georgia has it right in the center. Oh, good defensive poke here by Mulcairn. Up to the top of the key for the Gamecocks. Georgia has possession. Looks like off the thigh of Owen Thomas. He's going up now with the puck. Looked like a stick was lost back on the Gamecock side of things. And Georgia regains possession, but Gamecocks quickly sweep that away. Up to Mulcairn with the puck. Shot there off the right side of the net. Mulcairn desperately trying to gain control again. That is up behind the goal, and Georgia will get possession. Slowing it down here for a second, making a line change for both teams.
Yeah, getting this depth in early is definitely going to be key for both teams. Try and stay fresh for as long as possible.
Absolutely. You can see both benches, plenty of players here. Going to be a long, exciting game. As back, Hayes able to corral it, put it back up to the top of the key for the Gamecocks. Garrett Albers was there. That is high and over the hedge to the right corner. Georgia with it again, just the top of their own zone. Went through, big hit there. Set the tone early for the Gamecocks.
You can hear how the crowd reacts to that. They love seeing these big hits here at the Plex.
Absolutely. Gets the noise going whenever there's a big hit like that. Albers there again, putting it up. But that is right back to over by Hayes. Mulcairn, closest one now. Trying to poke it away, slow down the Georgia offense. Albers with it again. Passing it up for Jake Piscar here. He's got it on the left side of the Georgia zone. Tried to deke, but not anything there for him as the Georgia player hits him against the back wall. Georgia trying to get something going now, but it looks like that will be an icing call against Georgia. That big hit's hopefully going to set the tone for the Gamecocks here.
Yeah, it was 16:51 left in the first period. You can already see, in these kind of rival schools, you could see some tempers flare up. As the big hits, we've already seen a couple sticks lost early. Definitely something to keep your eye on.
Absolutely, a little bit of SEC rivalry here for you. That's number 14, Rob Lawrence, on the face-off here. Looks like it was won by the Gamecocks. Back in the neutral zone now. Still in the neutral zone, corralled. That is up and into the Georgia bench for a stoppage of play. Looks like a penalty here.
It's List going into the box there.
List, the freshman from Palm Beach, Florida. First one to hit the box tonight for either team. Another face-off coming here early on the Gamecock side with right around 16 and a half minutes. We're going to see the penalty kill squad now for the Gamecocks. Got 2 minutes to hold off the Bulldogs.
And last week they did a really good job because they did. That was one of the few critiques you could make about their play was having too many penalties, but they were really good on the kill.
Absolutely. So we'll see if they can replicate that again as Georgia's taking a couple shots, but it's going off our defenseman. That was McGowan in pressure there. Back to the top of the zone for the Bulldogs. They do have that extra man, of course, with the power play, so they're going to take their time and see what shots they can get. One-timer here, saved by Hayes, and that is a stoppage of time. That's a great heads-up save by Hayes there.
Yeah, we saw him make a couple of those last week, and he looked really good, and I think the trend is going to continue here as he's already made a nice save there, and it's even more crucial as they still have 1:35 left in this power play.
Absolutely. Great stop for the power play kill there. Almost went to Hayes, but McCarron there to get it. Put it past the top of the zone, and that is through to the Georgia side. That is great. That's going to take about 15 seconds off the clock there. Great penalty kill play right there. Georgia now from behind their own goal, bringing it up into the neutral zone. 2 Gamecocks on that Georgia player. One at the top of the key with no one on him. He gets the puck, gives it right back. One more went right by the Georgia player. McCarron is there to put pressure on. It's a 2v1 in favor of the Bulldogs there, but McCarron's fighting hard, not giving up that puck, draining that penalty time here. Hit against the wall, but still didn't give up, but Georgia does retain possession. Off the stick, McCarron gets the puck now and puts it up for another chunk of this penalty time being killed here. Got 38 seconds on it. Lawrence there for the Gamecocks. A little switch here for the second string penalty. That is through to the Georgia side of the defense again. And Tommy Locken was there, scored last week. Looking to get another. Rob Lawrence up there as well. Georgia spending a lot of time in the neutral zone, making sure they aren't offside for this penalty. Big hit there. Gamecocks come out hitting hard tonight. Another one. Another, that's their 4th already. Boys are getting choppy early, but that is the penalty kill for the Gamecocks. Puck came right to Zach Hayes and he fell on that. Another fight early. SEC rivals getting chippy in the first period. Not even 6 minutes going by. The crowd is loving that, Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, you have to love that as a hockey fan. Players getting chippy, and Riccitelli was just laying people out there.
Absolutely. It looks like a Georgia player is down here. Going to see how the refs sort this one out between the teams.
And it looks like number 33, Case Santa Maria, as he is finally back to his feet there.
Santa Maria definitely had a play in that 13-2 win, Middle Tennessee State, so we're hoping, at least the Georgia Bulldogs are hoping that he is completely healthy and ready to come back on the ice after that big hit by the Gamecocks defense.
Thought for a second we were going to see someone go into the box there for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, Spencer, it looks like the refs are talking it over, seeing exactly who hit first and if it was clean or not. That's just the sport of hockey sometimes. It's up to the refs to decipher that. But it is a hard-hitting sport, especially when they're SEC rivals. And I'm sure the Gamecocks are a little mad about that football score last week.
I mean, it's hard not to be. Not a great performance, but, you know, it did look pretty mutual there for a minute. You know, some big hits answered by more big hits, and then just everyone falling onto each other. But it will be a Gamecock entering the box.
That's Josh Wilkins.
Yep.
Yep.
and a Bulldog entered the box as well. So it's going to be 4-on-4 hockey here.
Both number 7s for either team.
Yep. William McDonald for the Bulldogs in
McDonald
the
had a
box.
pair of assists last game as well versus Middle Tennessee State. So we'll see what this 4-on-4 hockey leads. Everyone has a man, but there's a lot more space for both teams to work here. See where this face-off is going to be, what zone. Looks like the neutral zone, closer to the Gamecock side, but nonetheless neutral. That will be Owen Thomas on the face-off here. Georgia wins it, brings it back just to the tip of their zone here. But Gamecocks not necessarily back to full strength, but that penalty kill was well done for the first of the night here as Georgia pushed forward. But the Gamecocks stopped that quickly. Gamecock fell over, but was pushing into Georgia territory. Bulgers moving forward to put pressure on the Bulldogs behind their own net here. Owen Thomas there is trying to get a stick as well. Retained by the Gamecocks, pushing forward here. Bulger there, trying to keep it in the Gamecocks, in the Bulldogs defensive zone, that is. But it's up in the neutral zone with a Bulldog, number 29. Strong defense there by number 21, Zach List. Keeping him away from the puck as the Gamecocks get possession.
Yeah, he made a nice play there, just using his space and pushing him away from the goal.
Absolutely. Number 8 now for the Gamecocks, bringing in Georgia's zone in the midst of a switch, but that will go high and behind the Georgia net for another stoppage of play as Georgia makes a couple subs as well.
Yeah, 53 seconds here left with 4-on-4 action, and then both teams will be back to full strength. And, it's been pretty even. Both teams, getting into each other's offensive zones a couple of times, and we'll see if this face-off leads to anything.
Absolutely, great hockey, and it looks to me that this is going to be one of those games that whoever scores first is going to have a great chance to win this one. As Gamecocks have it at the top of the Georgia zone here, putting it around the back for the net. Gamecocks still with possession, fighting against a Georgia player, able to keep it and trying to put in for a shot, but that is saved by the Georgia goalkeeper. And McCurran lets it go out of the zone. Not having an offsides call. Everyone's back on sides. Georgia slashed down a Gamecock player there, and that looks like it might be a tripping call. Getting chippy again for a second there. That looks like it'll be a call in favor of the Gamecocks here.
Definitely sets the tone early with 12:58 left in this first. We've seen a lot of stoppages of play thus far just for dishing out penalties here.
I don't know about you, Spence, but me personally, I love to see a game get chippy. It's all what hockey's about.
Yeah, definitely love to see a physical game, players going after it. It definitely just makes the crowd even crazier than, hockey fans already are. So.
Absolutely. Looks like I'm on the line change. The face-off is going to be in the Gamecock, or the Georgia Bulldogs, side after the penalty here by the Bulldogs. We'll see who's on the face-off here shortly. Still 4-on-4 hockey for 28 seconds. Oh, pardon me, it's 4-on-3 hockey. Now Bulldogs down a man. Gamecocks, Owen Thomas now got it poked out, having to go back in the neutral zone, let everyone get back on sides. Looks like a bit of a trip maybe, but not called. Pushing the puck up to the Bulldog zone, and that is going to go into the neutral zone again. Let everyone get back on sides before they make another push. Owen Thomas there, passing it to the opposite side of the rink. Bulldog fighting for the puck there.
That's David Eberle, and he's just all over the puck there.
Looks like another call. Plenty of stoppage of time here early. Gonna have the ref see what that one's for, as that will in fact be number 23, Ben Riccitelli going into the penalty box for the Gamecocks. Face off here in the Gamecock zone. So it's 4-on-4 now, but the Gamecocks have 30 seconds more on their penalty here. So they'll have a 30-second kill sequence once a minute and a half goes by for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Just even more physicality here. Not sure how much the refs are going to let it slide thus far, as we've seen a couple calls where, unsure if it was a penalty. hard to tell from up here.
Absolutely, a couple questionable things potentially, but refs are looking like they're on it tonight as Georgia wins that face-off and puts it back to the top of the Gamecock zone. Just kind of last-ditch effort, seeing if anyone could get there. Gamecocks solid on defense. Tommy Lockins there, following the puck around. That went right to Zach Hayes, but he was there to stop it. Gamecocks on the offensive now. That's number 19, Tommy Lockin, fighting with a Georgia player. Two Georgia players here, trying to retain possession of the puck on the right side of the Georgia zone, but Georgia wins that fight over there. But Gamecocks are quick to pursue with a big hit by Lockin, leading to the Gamecocks retaining possession, but Lockin was offsides, so we're gonna have to move it back and take another shot at it. Gamecocks fighting for the puck in the neutral zone now, but it is won and put up again off of the wall, off the glass here. Georgia moving fast forward. Great save by Hayes. Looks like it'll be a stoppage of time. That was a little heads-on look there by Hayes. Great save. He's made a couple of those ones tonight already.
Yeah, and when they lost the puck near side here to the camera, you could see it was going to be a 2-on-1 opportunity there for Georgia. So definitely a great save, Hayes, keeping it scoreless here. And another thing to point out, last week we saw the Gamecocks, whenever things were getting physical, they could kind of overpower the Cougars last week, but Georgia's definitely more up for the challenge.
Absolutely, as it looked like Georgia won that faceoff, but then the Gamecocks got a piece of it as well. Garrett Albers did. But Georgia is once again in the Gamecock zone. Got about 20 more seconds of even hockey, and then the Gamecocks get about 30 seconds of a little bit of a power play. Bit of a hit there by Georgia, causing the crowd to make some noise here as Albers gets the ball there, or the puck there. Georgia quickly gets it back though, in the middle of the zone. Shot there, blocked by Hayes. McCarron there to clear it. Georgia once again gets the puck and puts another shot, but that is way off to the left of the ice there. Albers fighting for it. McCarron puts it up the middle into the neutral zone. As we got 15 seconds on a little short power play for the Gamecocks. Would be surprised if there was something done here in such a short amount of time. Georgia once again with a shot on goal, but blocked by a defensive man, not Hayes this time. Retain the puck, put it across the ice, and back behind Hayes. Hayes having to stay very active, looking around behind the net. But it's 5-on-5 hockey once again. It feels like it's been a while since we had that.
Yeah, definitely a string of penalties there from both teams, but now back to full strength here, just about halfway through the first period.
Absolutely, as McCarron passes that. We got an offensive from the Gamecocks here. Number 8, Jake Puskar bringing it up. Somewhat of a shot on goal, but put it behind the net as the defenseman, Zach List, pushes up with a big hit on the Bulldogs. Gamecocks have been heavily physical tonight. Put it across to List. Put another shoulder into him. As a stoppage of play by the referees yet again.
And the Gamecocks really not afraid here to they're hitting everything in sight here.
Absolutely, very physical, very physical. They know this is a tough team, like we said earlier. This is the champion team in a tournament beating FAU, so Gamecocks have to come out very physical in order to win this game, and they're doing just exactly what they need to do so far. As puck's in the neutral zone now, couple Gamecocks surrounding it. That is Zach List passing it to number 2 there. Saved by the Georgia goalkeeper. That was a shot by Nick Lindstad. One of the best looks Gamecocks have gotten all night in a very neutral game here. Both teams having some nice shots here early.
Yeah, that was a great move by Zach List there, just making the defender miss and giving it to his pal Nick Lindstad. A shot on goal means a face-off in the Georgia defensive zone for the Gamecocks here.
And that's a great example of what we were talking about. Defensemen love to be on the offensive side and vice versa. That was Zach List there, defenseman getting in on the offensive action. Georgia wins the face-off here, but kept in their zone by Brendan Flaherty. Bolger there now with the puck against the Bulldog player. Gamecocks win that, gave it to Bolger. Not offsides, opportunity here. Just put it across the goalie's face here. Bolger gets possession again behind the goal, though. That's top of the key there for Flaherty with a shot blocked by a Georgia defenseman. And it looks like Georgia, kept in the zone by List. Another shot on goal, slap shot, another one. 2, 3 great saves by Georgia goalkeeper. And, late hit by Georgia there in the goal. Ref's gonna have to break this one up. Wonder if a penalty's gonna come from there, but that was I just said opportunity for the Gamecocks. Now that is the best opportunity for the Gamecocks here early.
Definitely in a string of them, and Ryan Testino, the goalie here for the Bulldogs, definitely coming up big. Is definitely could have seen some goals there for the Gamecocks, or a goal, but with some opportunities. Definitely a great threat.
Absolutely. Looks like we're going to remain in. We're going to have a 5-on-5. No, yes, 5-on-5 hockey here. No penalty as a bit of a neutral faceoff, but Gamecocks win and just put it on goal. Quick save yet again by the Georgia goalkeeper as it's put in the neutral zone for the first time in a couple minutes. Big hit by the Gamecocks again as they're looking to stay on the offensive pace here, but Georgia wins that. And another stoppage of time by the referees, waiting to see what this one is as well. Looks like it'll be a neutral zone face-off. A little bit towards the Georgia side, though. There's Santoro on the face-off there. Georgia pushing it into the zone, trying to look for any shot. Great save by Zach Hayes there and the defensive presence. It's a Georgia player on the ground yet again. Seems to be a bit of a trend here tonight as the Gamecocks are levying heavy hits on these boys.
Yeah, and that's William McDonald who just went down, but you know a keeper's making a great save when you see him go full extension, and Zach Hayes there was just spanning the width of the goal and stopped a great shot there from the Bulldogs.
Absolutely, as McDonald will go off, as will a couple players for both teams. Looks like almost a full line sub for both sides here with 8:20 left in the first period. Still a 0-0 game.
And DeCiccio just went into the box, so it's going to be another power play here for the Bulldogs.
Had a couple here tonight, but so far the penalty kill for the Gamecocks has been on point. Let's see if they can have yet another one early on here in this first period. Georgia misses it, so it goes in the neutral zone and even farther. Great way to start the penalty kill, as there's a Gamecock right there. That's number 7, Josh Wilkins, fighting for that puck. Just draining the penalty clock here. But Georgia eventually comes up with it and is pushing forward here, putting it up and around Zach Hayes, but tipped it, but back to his post. Is another big hit by the Gamecocks. It's number 23, Richatelli, that put that up and through all the way to the Georgia goalie, as he's having to put that around the ice. An attempt there maybe by Wilkins, but Georgia be able to retain that. Not able to capitalize on a potential mishap there by the goalie. Around Zach Hayes, Georgia player looks like the first to be there. Quickly met, however, by Ben Richatelli. Top of the zone for the Bulldogs, off of a Gamecock player, but behind the net now for Georgia. Hayes there. He's going to sit on that for a stoppage with 17 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first, and just under a minute left in this penalty kill.
Yeah, and the action there from Josh Wilkins, every Gamecock hockey fan, player, fan in the building today has got to love. He single-handedly probably took 20 or 30 seconds off this power plays. He's getting involved every single time the puck is near him.
Absolutely, his name will be called all throughout tonight, I am sure, as the Gamecocks clear that again, draining even more clock here, going just under 50 seconds now in the penalty kill. Georgia pushing yet again that 5-on-4 action. 2 Gamecocks near him. Mulcair there pushing. Falling down there, maybe a little bit of a push by the Georgia player. Nothing called though. Georgia retains possession. Top of the key now. Slap shot there, and that's going to be a goal for the Bulldogs. Slipped right in through Zach Hayes. It was only a matter of time in that offensive zone.
Yeah, and that was Leighton Poole for the Bulldogs with a shot from a bit of distance. He just snuck it near side to Zach Hayes, and that would have been a really tough save there.
Absolutely, and with the physicality that Gamecocks have played tonight, I have no doubt that going down 1-0 this early in the game is not too much of a daunting task for this team.
Yeah, it's definitely not, but some of those penalties coming back to bite them, as now you wonder if they'll maybe take their foot off the gas a little bit, at least with the aggressiveness, but time will tell.
Absolutely. Certainly something to think of as Owen Thomas there on the face-off, won by the Bulldogs. We are, of course, at full strength after that goal. List trying to put it through for Greeley, but did not work. List there again, getting active on the defensive side. Gamecocks retaining that, passing it to Owen Thomas. One Bulldog on him. Greeley now clearing that all the way to the Georgia side. Bolger there to put a little bit of pressure, but cleared no problem by the Bulldogs. Bulger maybe getting the puck back, putting it in the middle, but no one there for the Gamecocks. Bulger again winning possession. And Owen Thomas is trying to help him out this time, but put around the side. Kept in the zone, however. Now Georgia has possession. Looking to get it out of their zone here. Neutral zone now. Past the Gamecock with one Georgia Bulldog on him. Across the ice to List. As Greeley fell down on the side there. List pushing all the way from the defensive end with a shot off the back of the wall there. And Zach List gets it again. Another shot by Zach List off of a defensive mid. Another one for List. Off the defensive mid again, but the Gamecock is there to try and get the rebound. Georgia now with the puck. Stopped before going too far, but Georgia was able to get that rebound as they're pushing the motive here. No one was there for what it looked like a bit of a pass, maybe a missed shot by the Bulldogs, as there's two back for the Gamecocks now getting possession of the puck.
That was 29 for the Bulldogs. Declan Conway with some really nice stick work there. Just really no one to pass it to, and not a great chance for a shot there.
Absolutely. Lindstad intercepted that pass there, putting it up on the wall, trying to get it out of the Gamecock zone here after it's been in it for about a minute and a half now between the legs of the Gamecock player, but corralled in by number 20, Garrett Albers. Up to Albers now, may have a chance here to equalize, and a save by the Georgia goalie. It was a good look there.
Yeah, definitely. They'll earn a face-off here in their attacking zone, but, you know, solid save from Testino, but not a huge challenge there with that one, just kind of going right into the glove.
Absolutely. Could have been placed a little bit better. However, seeing those opportunities, it's only a matter of time to get a few of those before one goes in the back of the net for the Gamecocks, equalizing. With 4:43 here left in the first period, riddled with penalties, but nonetheless face-off in the Georgia zone here. Won by the Bulldogs, but the Gamecocks are pushing for possession. Almost looked like a high stick there for a second. But nonetheless, Gamecocks still fighting. That is number 16, Santoro there. Bulldogs in the neutral zone now. Up to Zach Hayes, and he's deciding not to sit on it. We're going to play it nonetheless, and that went in between the legs of a Bulldogs player. Santoro tried to push that, but Bulldogs got there first. Hayes trying to put his stick out there, but McGowan clears that to the neutral zone where it's intercepted by a Bulldog. Up and around. Bulldogs are there first, putting it past the Gamecock defender. McGowan there to stick poke it out of there. Kept in the offensive zone, brought down with a glove by McGowan. And that's Santoro passing it up to number 12 here, Connor Berman. And that is into the Bulldogs bench for a stoppage of play with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left. Still 1-0 in the Bulldogs' favor.
Yeah, a couple subs made here by each team. Again, keeping the legs fresh, and you wonder if some of these big hits are going to start taking a toll as the game gets later and later on. You know, definitely for this Georgia team, as they're getting absolutely laid out sometimes.
Absolutely. Face-off here. Number 14, Rob Lawrence, won by the Bulldogs in the neutral zone now. Lawrence with a hit against the wall. Put in to the goalkeeper by number 17 of the Gamecocks, Andrew Henderson. But the Bulldogs now pushing against Henderson. Stopped by Hayes, and he is going to sit on that for another stoppage of time. Maybe getting a little chippy again there, but nothing crazy going. Oh, it is getting a little chippy. Gamecocks still have fight in them, as they should, very early on in this game. Plenty of time to equalize and even go ahead.
Yeah, and you saw a little instigation there from number 7 in white, William McDonald. And, you know, I think that's definitely a smart play, try and draw some more penalties for the Gamecocks. It's where they've struggled tonight.
Quick redo here for the referee on the face-off. That was Rob Lawrence for us versus McDonald, who we just talked about, who we've seen on the floor of the ice a couple times as well, so maybe he's got a little bad blood in him after tonight. Won by Georgia. Tried to shoot, but that's off of Rob Lawrence. Big hit by the Gamecocks again, but a stoppage of time for big line change here by the Bulldogs. With 3 minutes and 15 seconds left, Gamecocks making a change as well as Rob Lawrence goes into the penalty box. Gamecocks are, I believe, 2 of 3 in the penalty kill here, not counting the 4-on-4. So we're going to see if they're able to make that a 3 for 4 and keep it a 1-score lead for the Bulldogs here.
Yeah, and as I just mentioned, this is where they've allowed the goal tonight, so definitely an important kill coming up here for the Gamecocks.
Absolutely. Gamecocks able to clear that right off the face-off. That was number 6, Mike Bulger. Gamecocks are still there putting pressure even in a 4-on-5. That is Bulger again, very active in the Bulldogs offensive zone tonight. Mulcairn now on the defensive side. Bulger again just called his name, and that is number 19, Tommy Locken ahead. Him and Bulger pushing the motive. The shot on goal, but off, and Bulger got that, able to retain that behind the net. 2 Bulldogs favorite teammates falling over themselves there. But Georgia in the Gamecocks offensive zone again with just under a minute and a half on this power play still. Cleared by the Gamecocks again. I think that was Mulcairn with the clear all the way to where it would be called icing. Really quick to put a little offensive effort in there. Left it for number 8 and dropped it all the way back. Mulcairn now just trying to kill some of this penalty clock. Huge clear all the way to the Georgia goalie, but knocked off to the side of the glass here. Georgia with a bit of a line change, pushing this puck up the ice behind the net now for the Bulldogs. And the top of the key here. Gamecocks looking to avoid going down 2-0 as McGowan is closest to the puck. Put the Georgia player down. That's a clear, but off the ref's skates.
Really unfortunate there, as I would have killed at least a couple more seconds of this power play, which has about 20 left now.
Absolutely, and that is number 8 on the defensive side for the Gamecocks. Puskar there. McGowan also off of Hayes. Puskar with the puck again, and that cleared it, and that should about do it for the penalty kill. That should be around a 75% penalty kill success in the first period for the Gamecocks. And it looks like that penalty clock will in fact drain, and it will be 5-on-5 here as number 16, Jack Santoro, comes in to make it even strength for the Gamecocks. Couple of Bulldogs and Gamecocks now, a little scruff there. Number 9 for the Gamecocks pushing it, try to get it into the goal, but off of the skate, and now to the left side of the ice, retained in the offensive zone by the Gamecocks. Looks like it's gonna be a save there. Stoppage of time saved by the Georgia goalie. Not a bad look there for the Gamecocks with 47 seconds left here in the first period. It's been pretty action-packed, Spencer. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. The Gamecocks are in a face-off here, but it's really been the power plays that have not gone their way thus far. As you know, they have done well in the kills, but still giving up that one goal. And just the time you spend in defense is really it's holding back this offense.
Absolutely, taking a bit of a toll is Owen Thomas on the face-off there. Won by the Bulldogs, but fighting for it is Bulger and Greeley. Greeley now with the puck, putting it up for the Gamecocks, and there's a shot there off of the defensive and skate, it looked like. Bulger poking it out of Georgia's possession, and a shot by the Gamecocks again off of the pad of the Georgia goalkeeper. Up in the air, brought down by Georgia. Greeley close by, though. Now List on the other side. Big hit by List. But maybe a 2-on-1 here for the Bulldogs. But an error by the Bulldogs with a stoppage of play. Once again with 7 seconds left on the clock.
And List is talking to the ref there. He's very unhappy about having to go to the box, as we saw him just flatten a Bulldog player. It slams the door open, visibly upset, and I mean, it's easy to understand why. He's not happy that definitely calling it a little less strict, or more strict, excuse me, here tonight.
Absolutely, and as he should be. He's been a big key for the Gamecocks here in the first period. He's a defenseman, but he spent plenty of time in the Bulldog zone, as there's going to be a power play for the Bulldogs for the last 7.6 seconds, and then going into the second period here. Face-off won by the short-handed Gamecocks. Mulcairn there just kind of drained the clock end for the first period, and that will in fact do it. End of the first period, 1-0 in favor of the Bulldogs, but nonetheless still a very close game.
Yeah, definitely. Only 1-0 is definitely good for the amount of power plays they've let up, but thus far you want to see, now that a period's passed, you can kind of see how the refs are gonna call the game. Definitely not favoring how aggressive the Gamecocks have been tonight. So I think that's probably going to be a part of their game plan moving forward.
Absolutely, going to have to take a look at those penalties and how physical you're going to get. Nonetheless, the rivalry makes sense, but going to have to slow that down in order for penalty kills to not be the main source of ice time for the Gamecocks here in the rest of the game.
And it'd definitely be different if, you know, they got called for half the penalties they were called for, but when you see how they're calling the game, you can't, you know, spend almost half the period in a man down situation. So.
Absolutely, majority of the period was spent down a man or 4-on-4 hockey, so penalty-ridden first period for both sides it seems like, but Bulldogs are leading 1-0. We will be back after this intermission. Welcome back here to the start of the second period. I don't know about you, Spencer, but if I was the coach here, I think less penalties for the Gamecocks, and in turn will lead to more opportunities and shots on goal to equalize this game here.
Yeah, they looked good on offense. They just didn't have a lot of time to showcase that in the first period.
Absolutely. Clearing it all the way to the Georgia goalie, blocked off to the right here. Number 19 for the Gamecocks, and it looks like that'll just be a stoppage of play. Seems like the stoppage of play is going to continue here in this second period. Another often, not even, it's 12 seconds in here. And not to mention that we are in a 4-on-5 situation here. Penalty by, I believe, List at the end of the first period. So we got a minute and 45 left on the penalty kill. Won by the Bulldogs. Shot on goal there by Hayes, off of Hayes. Gamecocks not able to quite clear that yet. Georgia trying to keep it into their zone, make the power play a little more effective here. But McGowan, it looked like, will be able to clear that at least into the neutral zone. Drain a couple seconds off that power play. Bulldogs up and around behind Hayes here. Staying behind the net for a second, but tipped by the Gamecocks. Looked like that was able to be kept in the offensive zone, so no offsides here for the Bulldogs. Nice play there. As the top of the key, passed it to the right of Hayes, and that looks like it'll be up and brought down by a Bulldog. Falling over there. Gamecocks, great defense here so far on this penalty kill. Looks like off the left side of the net there, shot by the Bulldogs. Retaining possession yet again, rebounding for what seems like the second or third time here. Looking for an opening. And they got somewhat of an opening, but Zach Hayes again with a great save, being very active early on in this second period. McGowan there close by now for the defense. Nobody there for that pass, but off the wall to a Bulldog. Lucky bounce there. Hayes waiting for some sort of shot off the Gamecocks again. Great body block there by Connor Berman, and he followed it up nicely as well. Bulldogs keeping it in the zone for the last 15 seconds of this power play. Another shot there by the Bulldogs, keeping possession. Off to the left of Hayes now, and it looks like the penalty will be killed now. Gamecocks at full strength again. McGowan close by, fighting for that puck. Even strength now, Greeley coming in for the Gamecocks. And McGowan is quick to clear that and get a sense of peace here early on in the second period.
This Tommy Locken chasing it down, and he's got some real speed on him.
Greeley came down to help them. A little chippy from Locken at the end of the play there. Georgia able to stop that little short offensive spiel, but gathered in the neutral zone by the Gamecocks. Off the left side of the wall and gathered by Georgia. Fans getting into the game here, chanting Gamecocks as two defensive men are pressing the Bulldogs. Saved by Hayes and cleared, but looks like that will be offsides. Finally a stoppage of play after what felt like a long 2.5 minutes there to start this period.
Definitely, and that was, I would say, probably the most impressive kill thus far, as Georgia had the puck in their offensive zone for, the majority of that minute 45 that was on it when we started. And just the defense from, back against the wall, just fighting for every puck, and some great saves by Hayes to keep it to 1-0, and it'll be a Bulldog going into the pen here, so Gamecock power play.
We've only had a couple power plays here as opposed to Georgia's. Seems like 4 or 5 at this point, so we'll see if they're able to capitalize and maybe even equalize here. Zach List, top of the key, a shot off the Georgia defensive man into the right side of the goal here. Kept by the Gamecocks. Pass to Zach List, looking for the one-timer. Close right, not able to go in. Bolger now with the puck. Flaherty being able to keep it in. Quick shot to the right of the goalie. Owen Thomas there, able to retain possession. Maybe not necessarily, but out to Bolger now. And back to the top of the key with Flaherty. Zach List now, one-timer. Looks like it may have hit his wrist there. Hence the stoppage. Kind of lost the puck there for a couple seconds, but it looks like a Georgia player somewhat caught that with his wrist. Looks to be in a good amount of pain. That definitely does not feel good.
And that was sophomore Alexander Strauss there coming to the bench, definitely not looking good. And I couldn't tell if the puck went up and out of play. We were definitely up here searching for it, and he definitely took the brute force of that one there.
Bit of an interesting situation there for that stoppage of time, but it looks like Bulger will be on this face-off here for the Gamecocks. Hope that Bulldog is not a broken wrist, able to heal quickly and get back in this game. Owen Thomas now corralling that, but Greeley with the puck to Bulger. Bulger with it, looking for a shot. That's off the right side, try to put back in by Owen Thomas. Another stoppage of play. Gamecock fans don't seem too happy with that one.
They haven't been happy with a lot of the calls being made tonight by this officiating crew.
Absolutely, you make a fair point. Bulger on the face-off here again for the Gamecocks. Won by Bulger, pushed behind the net. Greeley with it now. Giving it up to List, but fell through. Flaherty's going to have to go recover that as the Gamecocks move in the neutral zone to avoid an offside call. All the way back to behind Hayes now with Flaherty. Bulger there to assist. And Greeley also waiting for that pass. But instead, Flaherty's going to take it all the way himself in between the legs of Owen Thomas there. But Zach List puts it back behind the net. Bit of miscommunication there between Bulger and Greeley, but Greeley came up with it. Top of the key now for Flaherty. Up to Bulger again, a little too out of his reach, but able to retain the puck and put it to Greeley. That's back with List yet again. No, sorry, that's Flaherty. List is on the left side here. Shot by Flaherty, looked like it was off of Owen Thomas maybe, and the putback definitely did not do well either. Net looked like it moved a little bit. Looks like the goalie pushed that net off of its original post there, causing that stoppage of play.
Testino just kind of elbowed it there, but you know, I feel like as a goalie, you probably got to do what you got to do to keep the puck out of the net. If it causes a stoppage of play, so be it.
Absolutely, definitely prefer the face-off in your own zone as opposed to an equalizer by the Gamecocks here. Speaking of equalizer, that penalty will only be 26 seconds longer on the Bulldogs. So this 4-on-5 is fleeting here for the Carolina Gamecocks. Albers won the face-off. Number 15 missed that there for the Gamecocks. Back behind Hayes now, corralling that, looking for one last push as the Bulldogs are about to come back to full strength in exactly 6 seconds. That will be an icing call, so the Gamecocks will have just 5 seconds left on that power play. Not much you can do with that. A good penalty kill by the Bulldogs, one of their few they've had tonight.
Yeah, and you see a couple of misplays there as the puck just kind of escapes the Gamecocks. Takes away a lot of time off the power play. But one thing to notice, they haven't been able to get the puck too close to the goalie, except for a few opportunities in the first period. We've seen the defensemen just peppering in shots towards Testino and goal there, but no luck so far.
Absolutely. Face-off here, number 8 for the Gamecocks. Jake Puskar there for the face-off. Won by Georgia, top of the key for number 10 on the Bulldogs, but quickly corralled by number 15 for the Gamecocks. And then Nick Lindstad trying to put that up and into the neutral zone, potentially the Bulldog zone, but that is yet another stoppage of play here with little less than a fourth of the period gone, 15 minutes and 16 seconds remaining. Looks like it'll be a neutral zone face-off, a little bit in favor of the Bulldogs. One of the few that they've had in the neutral zone tonight. And that is, again, Puskar on the face-off here, fighting for it. But it looks like Georgia's going to be able to slow down. That looked like somewhat of a body trip there on the Bulldogs. Interesting tactic, but nonetheless, fighting for the puck yet again. And the Gamecocks are able to tip that, but Georgia got it back in the Gamecock zone. Tip there by Georgia. Decent opportunity, but nonetheless, able to come from behind. Puskar did and poke it out. Number 15 now on the offensive here for the Gamecocks, in between the legs behind him for Puskar, giving it to Albers. Up even with the goalkeeper, and Georgia's able to clear that a bit, but Lindstad kept that in the offensive zone for the Gamecocks. Closest Gamecock there again is Lindstad, but the Georgia Bulldogs are able to clear it and put it all the way up behind Hayes here, as the Bulldog is quick and the first one to get to it. Kept in the zone there by Georgia as well. Puskar with the puck now, a little bit of 2-on-3 here for the Gamecocks. Garrett Albers kind of passing it to no one there, but able to retain possession. Push against the wall, but Puskar is able to assist. Nice deke by Puskar, but not able to put it in the net there. as Georgia clears that off the body of Andrew Henderson, though, but still all the way to the Gamecock zone. Corralled by Ben Riccitelli now. All the way forward. Riccitelli with some speed, looking for a pass. Can't get it. Top of the key there. Potential shot off the goalkeeper. Nice look there for the Gamecocks, absolutely, as player for both sides just falling down. Fight over there, Jack Santoro, as well as Connor Berman there for the Gamecocks, fighting for that puck possession. Still fighting for it. Santoro coming out with it, but not really being able to go anywhere with that puck. Bulldogs now on the offensive. Putting it up in the air and caught by Hayes. Played out, a little risky play there, but nonetheless went well for the Gamecocks as it was off the stick of number 7 there, Josh Wilkins, and another stoppage of time, ending with Connor Berman on one knee there. Line change for the Gamecocks. Bit of a long workload there for that line. Both teams actually making some swift changes with 13:04 left in the second period.
We saw again from Riccitelli there, the defensemen just using their speed have been the main creators of this Gamecock offense so far, with Flaherty doing it, List doing it, and then Riccitelli there most recently.
Absolutely. Wilkins close to the puck, not exactly knowing where it is though. Rob Lawrence there as well, but Bulldogs have possession. Lawrence pushing the offensive. Not able to get that puck though. Hayes has it, passing it up off the glass, trying to get it to number 7, Josh Wilkins, but not able to. Big hit off the glass and a nice save by Hayes there for a stoppage of time. See the ref skate over there quickly to avoid any altercations afterwards. I think he learned after the first couple times.
Yeah, you got to get to the instance before it turns into something more, some extracurriculars.
Absolutely. Face-off coming in for the Gamecocks in their own zone here. Looks like Rob Lawrence is going to be on that. Still in the zone. Wilkins able to clear it and put it up the opposite corner there. Closest one was Locken. Shot there by the Gamecocks. A little bit of confusion there between the defenseman and the goalie for Georgia. But the Georgia goalie able to fall on that one and stop the time yet again.
Yeah, nice play there by the Gamecocks, you know, getting a face-off here in their offensive zone. You know, the more opportunities they can create, you know, the higher chance someone's going to make a mistake, the higher chance they end up evening up the score here with 12:25 left in the second.
Of course, coming out of this period, they're looking very electric. Don't look down 1-0. I'm sure they have a 0-0 mindset. Looking to equalize here about halfway through the second. Nice shot there by Flaherty, but saved by the goalie. Off the goalie again. He's on the ground there. Gamecocks, Wilkins retaining possession there, trying to put it top. Behind there for Lawrence now. Lawrence diving, trying to retain possession, and Wilkins does in fact help his teammate out. Shot there. That's a goal! That's a goal. Brendan Flaherty, the equalizer for the Gamecocks with 11:58 left in the second period. And the student section, all the sections even, are going wild.
And Flaherty last week, he was my player of the game. I thought he scored the most impressive goal last week with a shot from distance. And there he is again. He's been creating all night, and he slots one home here to tie it at 1-1.
I've seen Flaherty at the top of key a lot, not just power plays, but all the time looking for that one-time shot, and he eventually got that. And of course, after a couple close misses there by the Gamecocks, they finally get one in to equalize it at 1-1.
And you kind of see this kind of chaotic atmosphere favor the Gamecocks a little bit. You know, players going everywhere, the puck's missing, and it definitely causes some confusion with the Bulldogs. And you wonder if they kind of thrive in that element.
I certainly think the Gamecocks do thrive in chaos. We've seen that early, and we just saw that there. It looked a little chaotic, but ended up with a puck in the back of the net in favor of South Carolina. List now with the puck, bringing it back behind Hayes here. A couple of his teammates there to help him. That's Bolger and Flaherty, who just scored the goal for the Gamecocks. Up and around by List. Closest one there is Greeley. Let it go through to Bolger. Bolger moving up the middle. That's Flaherty. Top of the key, just like he's been all night. Back to Bolger. Flaherty now again. Another shot off the guard there, but List able to corral that. Give it to Flaherty again. Flaherty looking for any sort of opening before trying to pass it, but passes that to List. List all the way over there to Bolger now. Back to Flaherty at the top of the key. That's his spot. And across the goalie's face there, but List is able to retain possession and put it around the wall for Brandon Flaherty yet again. Bolger and List looking for a pass, and he does pass it to List for the one-timer, off a little bit of a weird bounce, but the Bulldogs are able to clear that all the way over to Zach Hayes, who's just stopping that. And Flaherty is there to corral it with one Bulldog on him. Flaherty bringing it up in the neutral zone. Still going. 4 Bulldogs there. That almost looked like he was clotheslined there by the stick, but nothing from the refs. Gamecocks still have it. That's Albers there. Albers putting it towards the middle. Mulcairn with a shot. Too high there, and that'll go all the way back into the Gamecock zone with a Bulldog close in pursuit, but Mulcairn's able to corral that. Bulldog stole that from Mulcairn, but Flaherty now closest one to it. Looks like it'll be a little bit slow from that clothesline from that stick there. I thought from the calls that would have been tonight, that would have been a bit of a penalty, but I'm not the referee, so.
Yeah, there's a reason we're up here, but hopefully the crowd mic didn't pick up exactly what we're hearing from the crowd up here, because they were not happy about that no call.
Absolutely. Top of the key, pass from Mulcairn, that goes high, but kept by the Gamecocks. That's number 8, Puskar there. Mulcairn gets the loose puck from Puskar. Albers now there as well, putting it towards the middle. Oh! Shot attempt there by number 2, Nick Lindstad, but just missed the puck. He had an open net on that backside. That's one he's going to want back. There's the Georgia goalie who's able to stop the chaos and give us all a bit of a rest here.
And definitely a great look there from Lindstad. Unfortunate he couldn't put the stick to it. But, you know, we didn't even get a chance to speak that. The Bulldogs were a man down there right after the goal, but the Gamecocks offense has just looked relentless here since that first goal.
I think exactly as you said at the start of this period, they've mitigated their penalties here outside of the one to start the period. I don't think I've seen a Gamecock in the box. Shot by number 9, Pineda there, up to Wilkins. Wilkins with a nice little shot through some traffic. Looked like it was off of number 16, Santoro there. Pineda now trying to leave it for Santoro, but a bit of miscommunication. Fighting for the puck. Pineda and Santoro fighting against 2 Bulldogs. Pineda came away with the puck. Tried to get it to Santoro again. Behind the net still for the Bulldogs, kept in. That's a great play to keep in the zone. But the Bulldogs are looking to finally get it out of their own zone. Riccitelli there had them on their toes for a second. Great defensive play and putting it back in the neutral zone for the Gamecocks. A little quick shift there. Deke there trying to get some offense for number 23, Ben Riccitelli, but nothing there. A little bit of a late hit there, some talking between Riccitelli and a Bulldogs player. Also hitting, what was that, number 16 there, Jack Santoro. It's nice to see that a couple SEC rivals are still chippy when it's 1-1 like this. Great game so far.
Yeah, super fun, super entertaining game. And I don't know, I think it's crazy to see all these defensemen with not only being able to create the offense, but also with the great stick work. We saw Riccitelli make some nice moves there and almost create a chance at goal.
Absolutely. Face off here in the Bulldog zone. Seems like majority of time has been spent here this period, which is a bonus for the Gamecocks, of course. That was Bolger on the face-off. List trying to keep the puck in Georgia zone. Kicked it with his skate to do so. Greeley there helping as well as Owen Thomas. Owen Thomas fighting against the wall from the Georgia player. Zach List poking it through there. Greeley up against the wall with the Bulldogs player. Bolger intercepted that. Now List has it. Keeping it in the zone for the Gamecocks. Owen Thomas quick to pursuit. Flaherty there making sure it doesn't go out of the zone, but it does go by him. Hayes there with the puck, waiting for an opportunity to give it out, and he does to List. Pardon, that's Bolger. List now moving up with Flaherty. List again into the Bulldog zone. Pass back for Greeley. Greeley tried to get it to Flaherty, but not there. Bulldogs intercepted up and around behind. Bulldogs are able to get there first. Clearing the zone, but saved. Ref said that was clean for Bolger. Tried to get that to Flaherty, but a couple spins and he's not able to get there as the Gamecocks are able to, seems like, slow down the Georgia offensive this time. Saved by Hayes there. Greeley up against the wall. Great defensive play. 3 Gamecocks versus 1 Bulldog there. Able to get that to Lindstad. and use their numbers. Not necessarily clearing it, but looking to push the offensive here. Zach List up and around through the goalkeeper's stick. But the Bulldogs are there. Quick in pursuit, however, was Garrett Albers. Mulkerin now with the puck at the top of the Gamecock zone, giving it to Albers, who leaves it for Puskar. Might have an opportunity, but goes high and above the net. In pursuit of his rebound, though, but the Bulldogs end up getting that possession all the way back to Hayes, who's going to leave that on his stick for number 5, Stanley Chong here.
That's going to be a kill there from Georgia.
Absolutely.
Barely got a chance again to mention the power play. Is this offense has just been so relentless here in the second.
Absolutely. It's something to look forward to for the Gamecocks, both fans and players. Not being able to reference the power play as much, always a good thing for the Gamecocks. As number 2 now, Lindstad's quick to the puck. Try to get it to the top of the key for Chong here, fighting for it. Chong and Reed getting chippy there, but the Bulldogs do come away with the puck in the end. Sticked out by Mulkerin, however. And now off of Reed. Albers may have a chance here. That's up to Mulkerin. Mulkerin with the quick shot off of the Bulldogs goalie, but not able to capitalize there on the potential rebound for the Gamecocks. All the way back to Hayes yet again. And that was through to what looks like the neutral zone, but the Bulldogs do in fact have possession here. And they called that offsides. Went a little too quick for the Bulldogs there with 5:46 left in this second period. Much faster than the first period, Spencer.
Yeah, much less stoppages here thus far. And, you know, almost a flip script as we've seen Georgia go to the box a couple times. The Gamecocks have answered on the scoreboard, and their attack is looking really unstoppable this far.
Absolutely. Whatever was said in the locker room by Coach Al must have been getting these boys going. They're here. They're equalizing as the face-off is won by the Gamecocks. That was Santoro on it. McGowan trying to get the puck through the Bulldog, but he did not. Keeping it in the offensive zone for the Bulldogs as Hayes, little rebound, able to clear that. It was a pass for number 12. Now Connor Berman with the puck, trying to put it through to Pineda. Went off Pineda's stick, but not able to capitalize on that nice pass there. However, retaining possession, putting it through to Santoro, but it got all the way through to Berman. Berman again now. Try to give it to Santoro on the 1-through, but that is the Georgia goalie who's able to sit on that again. Little chirping, couple pushes as well. That's how you know it's a 1-1 game here in this late second period.
Yeah, we've seen I don't want to say a shift in aggressiveness because the Gamecocks are still playing really hard, really fast and physical, but the Bulldogs are getting away with less as they were in the first period, and we've seen that as they've gone to the box more. But, yeah, definitely no lost love here between these two teams.
Absolutely. Gamecocks are able to channel their aggression instead of causing penalties, able to cause a couple of big hits and maybe some penalties for the Bulldogs as well. As that was Rob Lawrence there. Quick shot for the Gamecocks. It's close there, but not able to capitalize as a Bulldog player on the ground. Through to the neutral zone, but Rob Lawrence there to quickly put it back through, but no one there as they had to come back for the offsides call. Bulldogs holding it behind the net as we just crossed the under 5-minute mark here in Irmo. Bulldogs pushing the offensive now. Quick pass to the middle, but not able to capitalize there. Great save by Hayes. Laid out for that one. Neutral zone for the Gamecocks. Close to Wilkins, but number 19 there as well. Tommy Locken putting a player on the ground. Starting a little chippy fight. 29 for the Bulldogs. Seems like the Bulldog player just fell down, but number 29 for the Bulldogs thought that it was, in fact, the Gamecock player's fault there.
And Tommy Locken, you know, he just plays such physical hockey. We see him not only using his speed, but there he was surrounded by 3 Bulldogs. He's swinging at him.
Well, not to mention he's a freshman and got his first goal in the first game of the season and already making a big impact, even if that is just physically here and towards the middle of this game for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, and one thing, you know, we've seen the Gamecocks avoid this period is penalties, but it will be Locken heading to the box here.
Absolutely. Kind of saw that one coming after the trip there at the end. But we also see a Bulldog joining him for maybe the little bit of the push at the end there. Extracurricular activities can earn him a couple 2 minutes at the box for some 4-on-4 hockey here.
Yeah, in fairness, I think that's a good call as they were, you know, exchanging pleasantries down here near the Georgia goal.
We're looking at a neutral zone face-off in favor of the Gamecocks a little bit. towards the Bulldog zone here. That will be number 22, Dylan Greeley, on the face-off for the Gamecocks, and that is won by Greeley, corralled by Richatelli. Thomas there for the rebound as well, but the Bulldogs are able to control that puck. However, essentially passed right to Greeley. Thomas trying to beat this Bulldog player to the puck, and he does. Keeping possession down towards the back end of the Bulldog zone. Greeley fighting for the puck and able to retain it. Greeley not able to capitalize on that retaining of the puck, though, as the Bulldogs push the offensive here on a 2-on-3. Great stick poke there by number 17, Andrew Henderson. Richatelli with a shot. Good save by the Georgia goalie. And Georgia looking on the offensive here. But Richatelli quick to get back to help Wilkins and Thomas. Trying to kill this opportunity for the Bulldogs. Little body save there by Hayes to stop the clock after what seems like a long period between. Getting chippy yet again over there as we have 3:41 left in this period and 1:08 left in some 4-on-4 hockey. Complete line changes by both teams here.
Yeah, and they were right in front of the ref there, just shoving each other, and it just shows how physical this game's been, and you can only expect to see more of that at the end of the second here and into the third.
This one doesn't feel like club hockey to me, Spencer, I tell you that.
Yeah, definitely has the physicality of definitely D1 hockey in there.
Puskar won that face-off. Thomas quick to the puck as well. Pass that around to his teammate List with a quick spin move there. Bolger with a little hit at the end of that, not being able to corral it, but Flaherty now back there for the Gamecocks with the puck, bringing it behind Hayes, slowing down the game for South Carolina here. Quick pass up to Bolger, moving through the neutral zone. One more up to Puskar, who's got it at the top of the key. Put it through a Bulldog's legs here and passing it around to Bolger, who's pretty open there at the bottom behind the goalkeeper. That is up to Flaherty. Back and forth between Bolger. Stick lost by the Bulldogs. That stick went high in the air. Flaherty with an opportunity going between multiple Bulldogs there. Some great stick work by Flaherty, still going. Attempting to get a shot in, but that'll be stopped by the Georgia goalie as Flaherty falls over in the end. Georgia looks to be talking a little bit. Might be mad at Flaherty for that absolute goal. Absolutely amazing goal he scored earlier. Still talking to Flaherty. Refs trying to break it up, but these guys got some heart, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and that's Alexander Strauss. He's chirping the whole way down the rink, and he's just, I mean, he's just getting subbed off, but he was letting it be known that, I don't really know what he was letting be known. He was just
don't think I can tell you either,
yeah.
Spencer. That's Wilkins there on the faceoff for the Gamecocks here. In the last 18 seconds of this 4-on-4 hockey before both teams are at full strength. Wilkins with the puck, trying to get a quick shot off. Couldn't exactly do so, but kept in off a hard hit with McCarron. Wilkins there again, trying to move in between Bulldogs players. Lawrence missed a bit of a hit, but Wilkins there. That's in the neutral zone now for the Gamecocks. Maybe a chance here for the Bulldogs, but great defense there by Lawrence. Don't know what call that might have been. Maybe a tripping, but I didn't really see that much there. However, the refs did. So it looks like that'll be yet another penalty kill for the Gamecocks with just under 2.5 left in the second period.
Yeah, that was a great recovery after just a giveaway and almost, one-on-one with the goalie there for the Bulldogs, but we'll see a player for each team go right back into the box. As Rob Lawrence goes in for the Gamecocks, and that was, I believe, Matthew Bigda for the Bulldogs.
Bigda's their assist leader right now, so a little bit of offensive power off the ice for the Bulldogs right now. However, they're still full strength. It is 5-on-4 in favor of the Bulldogs as of right now. Face-off coming here as it will in fact be 4-on-4.
They haven't updated the scoreboard yet here, but each team has one player in the box.
Waiting on this face-off here. That's Pineda for the Gamecock. No, sorry. That is number 19 Locken here for the face-off. Scoreboard's being figured out here. Right now we're doing some 4-on-4 hockey. There it is. Scoreboard's fixed. It is in fact 4-on-4 hockey. 2 minutes out of the 2.5 left to play will be 4-on-4. Seems like we've spent multiple minutes 4-on-4 here as the Bulldogs won that faceoff, and Mulcairn was quick to the puck. Bulldogs at the top of the key, quick little pass almost to Hayes. Stopped, and Wilkins there, able to push that in the neutral zone and maybe even the Bulldog zone, and he does. But the Bulldogs put that right back to their own player. Bulldogs quick on the offensive now, but Wilkins is quick behind with a great stop there. Little hit against the wall at the end. And a stoppage of play by the referees. Waiting to see this call here with 1:56 minutes left in the game and 1:28 minutes left in this 4-on-4 hockey.
And I believe it's going to be another Bulldog to the box, yep. So that's going to be Josh Massaros. Key offensive weapon for the Bulldog, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely. He was one of the 2 players for the Bulldogs that had hat tricks versus Middle Tennessee State. Big powerhouse for the Bulldogs in the box. A little bit of a 3-on-4 action. That's something you don't see often, Spencer.
Yes, I mean, we've seen odd numbers out here all night with 5-on-4s, 4-on-4s, now 3-on-4s here.
Face-off won by Bulger for the Gamecocks. Bulldogs players kind of fell over. Bulger left it up for Gamecock at the top of the key. That was Riccitelli. Bulger again putting it up and around for Greeley, who missed the tip of that puck. Bulldogs probably going to clear it, and they do, off the stick of Riccitelli. But just going to reset here for the Gamecocks as Pineda's back there to help Riccitelli as well as Bulger. 4-on-3, of course, here in the zone. Riccitelli falling over, but still fighting for possession of that puck as Bulger tips it out. Greeley's the first to it. Another stoppage of play. Didn't have much towards the end, most of this second period, pardon me, but towards the end there's been plenty of stoppage time.
Yeah, definitely as we await the call here. It's just going to be a neutral face-off. Wasn't sure if they were going to send a Gamecock to the box there.
1:16 minutes left. Gamecocks will have a measly 4 seconds of a power play to start the third quarter. So power play is essentially the rest of this period here, seeing if they're able to do anything with it in the last 1:05 seconds of this game. On the offensive now, Bulger with the puck into the Bulldog zone. Stopping and passing. Passing it, in fact, to Riccitelli, who gives it one more over to Greeley, back to Riccitelli, top of the ice. One more to Bulger. Off to Riccitelli again, waiting for an opening, and he shoots. Saved by the goalkeeper, but still in play. Cleared into the student section almost. Almost hit one of the fans by the Bulldogs. So that'll be a face-off, I believe, in the Bulldog zone for the clearance.
You know, it's not often you see the students throw the puck back. Usually that's a great souvenir to take home with you.
I know I would have kept it. All right, looks like number 8, Jake Prescar, is here for the Gamecocks face-off. Bulldogs win it, short man. However, Owen Thomas is quick there to help regain possession. Owen Thomas there in front, passing it to Prescar. Gamecocks now at the top of the key, number 5. And that's in! That's a goal for the Gamecocks! I don't know who that was, to be honest. That was a little bit of chaotic once again. Looks like number 5, Stanley Chong, scored that one from the Gamecocks surrounding them. And this has been a wonderful period for the Gamecocks here. Plenty of offense, straight away from constant 4-on-5 penalties, and they finally scored on a power play here in 4-on-3 hockey.
Yeah, and just as the extra man came on, they find a way to put the puck in the back of the net. And as you mentioned, I really couldn't tell exactly who put it in the back of the net, but it was this chaos that leads to opportunities here for the Gamecocks.
We said it earlier, the Gamecocks thrive in chaos, and that has been made very clear this period. As the Bulldogs put it in the Gamecock zone for the last 15 seconds of play here. Nice save by Hayes there to avoid the equalizer before the end of the period. And that will stop with The clock's still running, actually. However, it looked like there was about 7 seconds left. There's .8 on the clock right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's time put back on the clock, because stoppage of play seemed a couple handful of seconds before the stoppage was actually up on the board here.
And also with the, fixing, taking away the power play on the scoreboard is obviously the goal. Gets rid of that.
That's true, Spencer. We are in full strength after the goal by Chong here for the Gamecocks. As we're waiting here for what looks like, if that board's not going to change, 1/10 of a second, but I think they are, in fact, waiting for it to change, as it does, in fact, change back to a whole 12 seconds left. Full strength here to end the period, mitigating that 4 seconds to the start of the third period. Gamecocks would have had 4-on-3. Shot by the Bulldogs there. Zach Hayes blocked and reflected, just trying to clear it from the zone for the last 5 seconds, keeping possession, avoiding any sort of equalizer in the waning seconds here as the period will end. And Spencer, what a period for the Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah, you couldn't have asked for a better one as a Gamecock fan. They come in here, not only equalize it, end up taking the lead here in the last couple minutes of the second period, and overall just playing a much better brand of hockey here, still maintaining the physicality, but staying out of the box. Unless a Bulldog was in the other side, there was some 4-on-4 hockey we saw, but for the most part, a pretty clean half for the Gamecocks and some great offensive displays.
Absolutely, and they capitalized on that awkward 4-on-3 number game here. It is going to be 2-1 in the favor of the South Carolina Gamecocks at the end of the second period. We will be bringing you the third period after this intermission, and Spencer, it is sure to be a good one.
Can't wait.
before the start of this third period here, giving a little shout out to this beer engineer here below us, setting up a couple towers. Georgia and South Carolina may hate each other on the ice, Spencer, but it looks like we're coming together here nicely in terms of alcohol.
And the great towers of Irmo stand tall here, as we did have a little mishap during the intermission. A real tragedy to see, but the rebuilding process is going quite well, as this guy definitely has built the tower before.
There's a reason he's called the beer engineer.
You don't just get that name anywhere. You get it right here at the Plex.
All right, focusing back to the game here. Teams coming on the ice, about to start the third and, of course, final period in what has been a fantastic game. And personally, 2-1 doesn't do it justice as to how well and entertaining this game has gone so far.
Yeah, it's been a phenomenal game to watch here thus far. Really physical, and it's been a tale of two periods for each team as Georgia kind of dominated the first, Gamecocks the second. So that means we're in store for a great third period.
Absolutely, as Georgia has an opportunity here quick after the Gamecocks just did as well, but poked away by Chong here, who scored the last goal for the Gamecocks. Top of the key, put right back to where the puck was originally for the Bulldogs. Touched by Bulger. Little off-the-wall action there. Nice move by Bulger to put it all the way to the Georgia Bulldogs zone. But that is, in fact, the first icing and stoppage of the third period. Just 32 seconds in to the final period of play here.
Yeah, and we'll see how Georgia plans to answer here, as they need to equalize, of course, to have a chance at winning this game. But they have, in the first period, they did that via the power play. And as we saw last period, the Gamecocks are getting better about, not committing those penalties.
Absolutely, a very clean second period. A couple mistakes, of course, but that's always going to come in the game of hockey. As the puck was tossed in front quickly, but it seems like the refs just simply lost view of the puck, hence the stoppage of time, and another face-off coming the exact same spot that a couple seconds ago it was started. Looks like Greeley is going to be taking the face-off for the Gamecocks in their own zone here, as Hayes is ready to go, locked in, looking at any shot as it goes behind him. But Georgia is quick to be there, and Hayes will, of course, hop on that with Georgia player close by. A couple shoves from McGowan. 40 minutes, even 41 minutes in, and we are still just as chippy as when that first puck dropped. That is something you absolutely love to see in a big SEC rival game like this one.
And, at least to me, and I'm sure to you, it's no surprise here. These teams are notorious for not liking each other no matter the sport.
Absolutely, there's bad blood in practically everything there could be bad blood in, as Rob Lawrence takes a face-off for the Gamecocks. Quick shot by Georgia off of Hayes. Nice save there by Hayes, as Rob Lawrence retains the puck off the glass, brought down by Georgia, looking for a quick shot, but off of a Karen or Wilkins, one of the defensive men there. Great defense again, locked down by the Gamecocks as the first minute of the third period passes. Mulkieran there with the puck, but put back in by Georgia. Quickly shoved down by Mulkieran. Pass went through, no one there, and that is into the neutral zone off of the ref's skate as well. Georgia needs to reset before trying another offensive zone here, but it is exactly what they're doing, as Georgia is putting it right into the body of Hayes. Another stoppage, and Hayes already seeing a little bit more action than he did almost the entirety of the second period, Spencer.
Yeah, definitely, but he's still sharp as he was in the first, making some good saves. And on that first shot from distance, it was Bigda who tried to put it near side again, as we saw in the first goal. And you could see Hayes, he was ready for it and made a good save.
Hayes has been a little keen after that first mistake there, although that was a great goal by the Bulldogs. He's a little more keen to that spot now, absolutely. As List bringing it up for the Gamecocks. Pass over to number 19, Tommy Locken, the freshman. Trying to keep it in the Bulldogs zone here. Bulldogs with a bit of a mishap and a big hit by the Gamecocks, but that is up and around for the Bulldogs and out of their zone into the neutral. Flaherty puts it back, trying to keep any sort of offensive going for the Gamecocks. Lawrence falls down but puts it into the Bulldog zone. Bulldogs now pushing into the neutral zone, but tapped by Wilkins. Wilkins wasn't offsides. Locken's there to help him. Wilkins retains puck possession, but the Bulldogs are quick to stop that, as Flaherty is trying to keep it in the zone and does so. Brendan Flaherty now with the puck. Tried to deke his own player, but didn't get through. Shot there by the Gamecocks. That was List, and that was just off the back glass. Fighting for it over there. That was Puskar who was fighting for the Gamecocks. That is up and hit just the bottom of that net above the glass to go technically out of bounds, with a face-off coming into the Gamecock zone, I believe.
And we see Flaherty and List go off the ice here, but they have just been unleashing shots from range the entire game, and we saw it work in the second when Flaherty scored a goal, but also just creating the chaos with the distance shots. It allows more things to get in between the goalie and the shooter, and it's definitely served the Gamecocks well.
Absolutely, and my mistake, it's a neutral zone face-off here for the Gamecocks and the Bulldogs. Pushkar for the Bulldogs, or the Gamecocks, pardon me, as he wins that, but the Bulldogs quickly after do retain possession. Riccitelli here falling over while fighting for that puck, and that'll be a stoppage of play. Looks like that may be in favor of the Gamecocks, as it is in fact a Georgia player moving to the box. That'll be number 71.
I want to say Ethan Johnson, maybe.
Yep.
And 17:25 left in the third. An early power play opportunity for the Gamecocks.
We saw them get much better on the power play in the second period here, including that 4-on-3 power play goal. So we're hoping to see the Gamecocks maybe join and get a little bigger lead, make it to 2, and give Georgia a little bit more to work for than just one equalizer. As Bulldogs won that face-off, but there are 2 Gamecocks, Garrett Albers and Jake Puskar there. List now back to Flaherty, all the way back into their own defensive zone here. Flaherty giving it out to Puskar, putting it one more to List. Great vision there by Puskar, bringing it in the offensive zone, leaving it for Albers. Flaherty at the top of the key, let that go by him, but still gets there. Flaherty keeping it in the zone with his skate again. Heads up play by Flaherty, but the Bulldogs have possession trying to clear it, and they finally do. Between the ref's legs and all the way back to Hayes, who's waiting to see if he should pick it up, and he does not. Instead, he gives it off to Flaherty, who's sitting behind the net, trying to figure out his next move here. Pushing forward now with Puskar to his right and List to his left. Gave it to Puskar. Puskar's in Georgia's offensive zone. Tried to look for a pass maybe, but nothing there. Off the wall to List, back to Flaherty. Gamecocks playing the top of the key, looking for a shot. That went to Puskar, then List. Off of the goalie, List has it again. Shot off the first defenseman there, but we retain possession. The Gamecocks, Flaherty has it. Tried to go between the legs, but stayed there. Now the Bulldogs have it and simply just clearing it after a very forceful offensive series there for the Gamecocks. 40 seconds left on the power play and just about to be 16 minutes as there was a line change, and Bulger was right there for the puck. Flaherty stayed in, and he's there for the offensive zone. He got between. Flaherty tried to score, but was not capable of doing so. However, he is on the puck for his own rebound. Up to Bulger, top of the key. One more over to Riccitelli. Back to Flaherty, who's open. Gave it a shot, but no luck. Rebound again by Flaherty. All the way over to Bulger with possession, shot to the right of the goal. Owen Thomas is there. Bulger has it. Flaherty now with a glove save by the Georgia goalie. And that, once again, it was chaos. And we all know what happened in the second period. The Gamecocks thrive in that sort of situation.
Definitely just continuing with just unleashing shots on the goalie here. Hoping something happens. Either he doesn't secure it cleanly or deflection or just getting that puck in front of the net. And, you know, they've created some opportunities, but some good saves from Testino here.
Absolutely. Very heads-up glove save on that as well. Could have potentially been a goal, but that glove got there first. Pineda now with a shot off of the goalie there. Georgia now with possession, moving in the neutral zone, but Pineda put it back into Georgia's zone with Jack Santoro close by. Still pushing the offensive here as it goes into the neutral zone and eventually the Gamecock zone as well. Riccitelli with the puck now, passing it off behind the net, but Georgia has it. Solid defense, went across the face of Hayes, but no cigar for the Bulldogs here as Riccitelli will be the first of the puck.
And the power play did expire there for the Gamecocks, so back to full strength for both teams here.
Running into each other, Bulldogs are able to get that puck. Nice pass there and spin by the Bulldogs, but not being able to capitalize on that move. But they do retain possession, but not for long as the Gamecocks win it back. Number 19, Tommy Locken, the freshman. Bulldogs have it in neutral zone. Clean play there. Jack Santoro up there with Berman. Shot by Santoro. Oh, Berman had a chance at the rebound, but he didn't get it, and that is a stoppage of play there. That was yet another chance for the Carolina Gamecocks early on in this third period. Just under just over 5.5 minutes through this final period of play.
Yeah, and you love to see that if you're a Gamecock hockey fan, as the offense has continued from the second period, and it looks pretty similar here.
Looks to be a face-off in the neutral zone in favor of the Gamecocks. That's Rob Lawrence, who's taken a handful of face-offs here tonight, but we've seen plenty of faces for those face-offs. Rob Lawrence reached up with his glove and tipped it, was not able to find it once it came down, and that will go into the Georgia bench by the Georgia defensive player for yet another stoppage of play.
Yeah, and another face-off in the offensive zone for the Gamecocks. It's a good sign for their offense here.
Absolutely. Rob Lawrence won that one-timer by McGowan, tipped and went over. I assume the ref just didn't see the puck there at the end, leading to yet another stoppage of time here. And we'll see where the puck ends up getting dropped next.
And after a relatively clean second period until the end, a lot of stoppages so far.
Looking more like the first period, absolutely. Bulldogs now in their defensive zone here, putting it up towards the neutral and into the Gamecock zone. McGowan close by, shot way off and behind the goal. Big hit there by Rob Lawrence. Chong there fighting for the puck. Another big hit for the Gamecocks. That was Chong this time. Scored the second goal. Wilkins now passing it up to Locken, pass in front, but not able to capitalize on that. Gamecocks quick in the offensive. Bulldogs, pardon me. Wilkins there with McGowan's and Chong. Chong now with the puck, trying to clear it and slow down this Georgia offense. And Wilkins will be the first one to that puck. Looking to get out of his own zone, and he's not able to. Lawrence is there, went off of Lawrence's skate, trying to get around the defenseman, and a great save by Hayes there. As a player for each team is down on the ground, and Chong leveled one of the Bulldogs players as well. Shot back in by the Bulldogs, but saved again by Hayes. Now kept in the zone by the Bulldogs. Chong is going to be there, looking to get the Gamecocks a little bit of a breather here, maybe even a line change, as it is put into the neutral zone and all the way to the Georgia goalie. And that is exactly what the Gamecocks are doing, is their line change here.
And that was a fantastic save from Hayes. He had a man right in front of him, but the vision to be able to still see the puck coming in from distance and make a good save definitely keeps the Gamecocks with a 1-goal advantage so far.
Looked like there was a bit of a mishap here with the line change for the Gamecocks. I only see 3 Gamecocks players on the ice. Owen Thomas coming out to be the 4th. And it looks like Greeley will complete this 5. Bit of confusion there due to the stoppage of time by the refs. See maybe improper substitution, but nonetheless remains 5-on-5 hockey. That was Bolger on the face-off, and he also got possession of the puck afterwards, going around Hayes and into the neutral zone where Greeley was there but was not able to corral it. Quick to the defensive side, though, is Owen Thomas as well as Greeley. Up and around. Bolger now keeping it in the zone. Bulldogs off of the skate, however, of Bolger to stay in the zone yet again. Trying to get it to Owen Thomas, but no luck there. That will be a clean, no icing. There we go. I was going to say for a second, but that is yet an icing call in favor of the Gamecocks, and that is going all the way back across the ice. And we will have another face-off in Georgia territory with 12 minutes and 14 seconds left in the third.
Yeah, and I was about to say the Gamecocks had too many skaters on the ice, but they will correct themselves here.
Bit of a line change confusion here the past couple minutes for the Gamecocks, but it seems that they got that sorted out now. As that is in the neutral zone now and went by the Gamecock defenseman, but he has plenty of time to get there and give it to his teammate, Mulcairn. Back to the Gamecocks. Puskar, nice pass up to what looks like Garrett Albers. Lindstad's there as well as Puskar off of Puskar's skate. Now Lindstad back to Puskar. And it looks like the Georgia goalie is going to cover that one up. Classic little bit of shoving. One into the net. Gamecock player, that'd be Garrett Albers. Not surprised. That's how it's been all game, and I will have no doubt that it will be the same up until that clock hits 0.
Yeah, we sound like broken records, but I mean, it's not hard to imagine the physicality between these two teams, and it's been prevalent throughout the entire game.
Not only is it both teams' MO, like we've, again, broken records, SEC rivals, you're going to be a little bit more physical than, say, College of Charleston previously.
Definitely.
Buscar on the face-off with Lindstad now. Richelli put it across the face of the goalie. Quick shot there, but no luck by Andrew Henderson. Buscar passes it to Albers now. Back to Buscar. Henderson has it. Through the legs of Lindstad and the Georgia Bulldogs in the neutral zone. Thrown up behind Hayes by the Bulldogs. Richelli there. Getting it through a Bulldog and a Gamecock. Shot by the Bulldogs. Glove saved by Hayes. And, you know, Hayes has looked pretty good tonight. That one goal that he let in the first period was something that I don't think many goalies could have saved.
Yeah, very understandable goal to allow there. This was a fantastic shot by Leighton Poole, but other than that, he's had a fantastic game.
You know who's also having a fantastic game is this beer engineer down here. This tower just keeps getting higher. I don't know how far he can go.
I mean, not only is he great at crafting this tower, but he's getting the fans behind him here.
Absolutely is Santoro now fighting a couple Bulldogs for that puck behind their own net. Pineda there as well, looking for a poke out. Georgia Bulldogs open, but great save by Hayes. He just saved the equalizer.
And that was Massaros. That's the leading goal scorer, one of them, of the Bulldogs. And making a good save on him is definitely a tough task to do.
Well, we just gave Hayes a little bit of shout out last stoppage time, and he showed us exactly why we did that this time. With 10:49 left in the third period, we're looking at a face-off in the Gamecock zone, and it will be Jack Santoro here for the Gamecocks. Off of Flaherty's skate as the Bulldogs try to get a quick one in. The Gamecocks are on the offensive now. List behind the back to Berman. Great pass by List. Pineda's there. Pineda scores! 3-1 Gamecocks. That's exactly what we needed. And what a behind-the-back pass by Zach List.
Unbelievable. A great shot by Berman. Gets deflected by Testino. And Pineda's there just to finish it. As we see a defender ended up on his back, trying to, I believe, dive in front of List's stick there, but he just fooled them completely with the behind-the-back pass.
Pineda came on that backside, and no one was there to cover him, and the rest is history. Went right in the net. I could have seen that coming as soon as that puck was going to Pineda. Great find by List and Berman.
Yeah, and definitely, you know, again, I mean, a good stop originally from Testino, but the Gamecocks offense, too relentless. They just had too many men there. Even though he makes one deflection from the shot from Berman, Pineda's there, slots it top right, and it's 3-1 lead now.
Absolutely, and it looks to me that this physicality we've been talking about all game is finally paying a toll, not only on the Bulldogs, but on the Gamecocks as well. Both sides have spent plenty of time in the offensive zone. Not much fighting going on in the neutral zone here towards the end of the game. 10:36 left, and it's 3-1 in favor of the South Carolina Gamecocks.
And the refs are talking to a couple Bulldog players about something here.
There's a handful of them on the ice looking like some sort of substitution change shortly after that goal.
You know, like any South Carolina sporting event, I believe this is the third sandstorm of the night fourth if you count the intro as well.
It's always a good thing when you hear sandstorm,
yeah,
of course. A classic, a school classic, and it's nothing but positivity whenever you hear that going on, no matter what sport you're at.
Definitely know it's a good thing when you're hearing sandstorm. If you're a Gamecock fan, for all the Bulldog fans out there, probably getting a little annoying now, but
looks like Rob Lawrence yet again for the face-off on the Gamecock side, but the Bulldogs are still figuring out what's going on with their substitution here. On the ice for the Gamecocks, Lawrence, Locken, Wilkins, Chong, and one more defender talking to Chong. Chong, of course, with a goal tonight. Fifth one is McGowan, talking to Chong right now.
I believe the head officials over there talking to the Bulldogs coach, and they finally get it resolved, but after a long stoppage of time, it gives the fans enough time to get rowdy.
Absolutely, a full chorus of Sandstorm was played during that time. As the Bulldogs now looking to get out of their own zone, and they do, but no one is there. A couple of Gamecocks. McGowan looks like he's going to be the first. Never mind, it'll be icing for the Bulldogs, and we are going right back to where we started, to the Georgia's defensive zone.
Yeah, and that goal, you don't know if the Gamecocks are really going to change their plan, as they've had so much success since the start of the second period, considering they have a 2-goal lead. But now, I mean, I feel like they're just going to see if Georgia can answer, because there's no reason they should stop. They're having too much success.
Well, after the occurrences in the first period on the Gamecock side, it looked like it was a bit of a wake-up call. Whatever happened in that locker room, they've been playing way, way better than they did in that first period, as it's in the neutral zone now, corralled by Owen Thomas and put behind the goalie for Georgia. Georgia, first one there, but Greeley close by to intercept that pass. However, Georgia does the same shortly after. Pass went by Chong. Hayes there to quickly clear it and get back to his post. Kept in the zone by Georgia. Georgia looking for that extra pass. Not there, though, thanks to Hayes. Bulger there. Bulldogs kind of just threw that up, hoping for anything, and then it's up in the air and down next to McGowan. Close one there, but Hayes was ready for that, as it's cleared by the Gamecocks off of Greeley and all the way to the Bulldogs defensive zone. Off the glass again. Chong puts that in the Bulldog zone, and that was, in fact, puck was offsides there, and that'll be on Owen Thomas. Huge line change here for both sides with 9 minutes and 34 seconds left. It is a 3-1 lead for the Carolina Gamecocks. We have a goal from Leighton Poole on the Georgia side, and then we have Chong with the second, and then of course Pineda with the most recent. Lawrence there close, Wilkins behind, and now Mulcairn as well. Multiple names we've been calling all night. Shot more so of a lob off of the Georgia goalie, pardon me, trying to put it back in, and it looks like the goalie will just, are we calling that a goal, or is that I think that's going to be a save for the Georgia goalie here. Waiting on the final call, but that looks like it's what it's going to be. Close call there. I saw a couple fans behind the net get a little rowdy as well, potentially making it 4-1, but I think we're going to be calling a save here with a face-off in the Georgia zone.
Yeah, and Tommy Locken was jumping up and down behind the goal as he thought he had put that in past Testino, but not to be, as it's a face-off in the Gamecocks offensive zone.
Lawrence yet again for the Gamecocks. Stoppage before the puck was even dropped. People were caught up there on the side. I believe that was Wilkins messing with a Bulldogs player. Puck drop. Bulldogs win that one. And they're bringing it around behind the goal, but Wilkins is close by to add pressure. Locken now pushing forward as well. Kept in the zone. Almost a one-timer there by Locken, but good save by Georgia goalie there. Bulldogs up to the top of their zone. Locken, late call, perfect. Late hit against the glass there by the Bulldogs, way behind the net, almost completely out of play.
Yeah, and you could hear the fans wanting it, and the refs listening, as that will be Cameron Campbell, the defenseman for the Bulldogs, entering the box and set up another Gamecock power play.
And the power play started a bit slow in the Gamecocks, but they have recently been able to accelerate and put a little more adrenaline into those power plays. We'll see if they're able to score yet again in this third period to put this game almost out of reach.
Yeah, now that they're the team earning more of the power plays instead of being on the defensive end of them, they've looked really good.
Absolutely. So Bulger won that, passed the list, and now Owen Thomas here going around the backside of the Georgia zone. Left it off for it looked like Greeley trying to get it to List, and he does. Greeley at the top of the key with a shot off of the goalie. One-timer there by Bulger. Oh, Thomas got it to him, but no cigar there. Berman passed it to List, who's at the top of the key with a shot off the first defenseman there. Bulger close by for the rebound, putting it up to List yet again. Flaherty, where he's been at the top of the zone all night, him and List are working the top of that key there. That's where Flaherty got his goal to start off the Gamecocks scoring tonight. Looking to get maybe a second one Passing it now to the top. Owen Thomas right in front of the zone, but not able to capitalize here. Went behind Flaherty into the neutral zone. Gonna need to reset. List falls down, but quickly gets it away to Flaherty. Saved themselves there from a mishap. Back to List now. List with the shot off the side of the net, going around to Greeley, who's fighting for the puck with two Georgia defensivemen. Non-stop fighting, and Gamecocks do in fact come away with that. Owen Thomas. List and Thomas working back and forth now. List has it, maybe looking for a shot here, and does, but it goes right off the Georgia defenseman as he falls down. Georgia now with a chance on the offensive here, but no cigar as Owen Thomas is able to intercept that pass before anything happens. However, Georgia's at the top of the key now. Looks like a bit of an open shot here, but Hayes with a beautiful glove save to stop the clock with 27 seconds left on this power play and 7 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, and that was a fantastic save off a weird deflection there as the Gamecock defenseman. Couldn't see who it was, but he got a stick in there, and the puck just took a weird ricochet, but the change in pace, Hayes adjusted very quickly to it and was able to glove it there.
Absolutely. Prescar there on the faceoff. Passing it back to number 17, Andrew Henderson. Over to Prescar now. High lob over to behind the goalie. Looks like Riccitelli was the first there. Henderson there as well at the top of the key. Riccitelli again now fighting for that puck. Let's see, that's Prescar. Albers with a one-timer, but a little bit off the end of his stick and not capable. Hayes now stopping that, and that, of course, will be another icing call against the Georgia Bulldogs. With exactly 6 minutes and 42 seconds here. Of course, still a 3-1.
And, I mean, chaos down here as one of the beer towers has fallen for, I mean, the third or fourth time tonight.
Just an awful sight to see here. With Sky here on the face-off. Trying to bring this one home for the Gamecocks. A fantastic game. Of course, Georgia, the champion of the College Hockey South tournament. So to be up 3-1 here is rather impressive for this Gamecocks team.
Yeah, definitely a great sign to be beating one of the premier hockey teams from last year. And also to do it with some of the young guys they've been doing it with. As we've seen freshmen and sophomores get involved heavily throughout the entire season thus far.
Absolutely, and they did that versus College of Charleston too. So I'm sure that that'll be somewhat of a trend going on this season as coaches certainly try to get those boys involved, being young and fresh as they are. As the Gamecocks now, Riccitelli in the defensive zone. Up to Prescar, puts it over and through. Albers and Lidstad up there for the Gamecocks. Lidstad gets there fighting for the puck with help from his teammate Albers. But it looks like the Bulldogs are going to come away with that. Passing it up to their forwards in the neutral zone. Good poke by Prescar, but Georgia still gets it. Great defense played there by the sophomore Henderson. Hitting him against the wall constantly, pulling him out of play. He's got some fight in him yet when we're at 5 minutes and 45 seconds left in this hockey game here. Shift change here almost entirely by the Gamecocks as Berman's the first one fresh off the bench to get to the puck here. Pineda now with a big hit against the glass, showing that the Gamecocks aren't leaving. They don't care what the score is. Off the Georgia Bulldogs stick. Berman now getting it through. Mulcairn is there. Bulldogs fighting for that puck. Solid defense by the Gamecocks so far, though. Off of Berman's skate. Another hit against the Bulldogs with Mulcairn now fighting for that puck and putting the Georgia player on the ice. Pineda there. And now Berman moving to that stick, using his body to try and block that. Close call there maybe for the Gamecocks, but Hayes was there and ready. Bulldogs still have power, and that's into the body of Hayes. Hayes is there, and what a dive by Hayes to stop the play there.
Just a sea of bodies at the goal there, fighting to get untangled.
You got to give it to Georgia. They're certainly not giving up here. They still have heart, and that's very impressive to see. And absolutely, shout out to their goalie as well. He may have let 3 in, but he has played a phenomenal game.
And really all the goals that Gamecocks have scored tonight have been really impressive, whether it's off just single-handed, like, shots have been really nice, or passing, the teamwork. Testino's done a good job of, only keeping it to 3.
Absolutely. Rob Lawrence here on the faceoff seems to be the one who's taking most of the faceoffs here tonight, at least, as that's going all the way back behind the Georgia goal. Close behind is Locken, the freshman, of course. Very active all night tonight. McGowan there, as well as Chong to block the vision there to avoid a goal for the Bulldogs here in under 5 minutes left to play in the game. Locken tried to get it to Wilkins, but a little bit out of his reach. However, Lawrence is there, keeping it in the offensive zone, disregarding the offsides. Wilkins close by, as well as Lawrence. Now McGowan on the defensive side, helping Chong. Great defensive play there by the Gamecocks, causing chaos, not letting the Georgia players getting a clear shot. Stoppage here by the refs with exactly 4 minutes remaining in this game. And it looks to me like the Gamecocks don't care that they're up 2. It's still 0-0 in their eyes.
And that's a great mentality to have, no matter what sport it is, no matter what team you are. That's the mentality you want to be at. Playing at a level field definitely will keep that energy there. And as we've seen recently in this period, it'll keep that physicality there.
Absolutely, and it actually looks here like there will be a power play in favor of Georgia.
It's Tommy Locken.
It is the
just went into
freshman
the box.
Locken into the box here. So Santoro there on the faceoff really tried to, that was Berman trying to clear it, but no luck there. Riccitelli close, fighting for that puck. List moving in to help. Riccitelli using everything he's got for that, and he does in fact come away with the puck. Berman tried to send it farther, but no luck there. Riccitelli and List very active on both sides all night tonight. Little help from Santoro, kept in by the Bulldogs here. Shot by the Bulldogs between the legs of 2 Gamecocks players, but it doesn't matter. Hayes still saves it. Another fantastic save by Zach Hayes.
Yeah, he's a brick wall tonight, minus the 1 goal, which we've already said multiple times was a very nice goal for Mr. Leighton Poole. But, that one was really tough to see. As you mentioned, going through 2 players' legs, he still tracked it the whole way and was able to cover it up.
Minute and 25 here left in the power play kill for the Gamecocks, and only 3 minutes and 24 seconds left in this game as Lawrence here for the faceoff. Georgia retains possession, looking to get a little closer in the scoreboard here.
And here in the power play, Georgia has actually gone open net here.
They indeed have, and that was up and over Hayes there for a second. Looked like the Georgia might get one in, but they did not. That is off of Hayes with a Georgia player there, and what a save again by Hayes. Georgia player trying to screen him, he doesn't care, falls on it anyways. Another stoppage of play, and the Gamecocks are certainly protecting their goalie, chirping the boy that was trying to block him there.
Yeah, and in a really 6-on-4, with now 6 skaters on the ice, since the Bulldogs have taken away their goalie, Hayes is having to make some really, really tough saves, and he's doing it with ease.
Absolutely. And the Gamecocks have been able, even on the penalty kill, a couple times tonight, of course, with a goalie in mind previously, able to break through and have a potential shot. So with no net, they might be able to even add to the score and put this one away for good. Bulldogs now behind the net. Henderson there, poking it away, but remain at the top of the key by the Bulldogs. Lawrence there for the one time, and that's Skies, and that is out of play. And the Gamecock players and fans are loving it as they know this game is coming to an end shortly.
And it was maybe a little hard to pick up, but Rob Lawrence, after that shot went way high, he started pointing at him and laughing. This is, as we've mentioned all night long, definitely a bit of a rivalry here, and that translates to the ice.
Absolutely. 50 seconds left on the penalty kill for the Gamecocks. Closest person is Henderson, the sophomore. Rob Lawrence there, poking that away, but a nice shot by Georgia nonetheless. Retaining possession as well. Keeping it in the middle, putting now to the top of the key here. Shot by Georgia off of Hayes, and Lawrence cleared that into the neutral zone. Not going to score there, of course, but that is a lovely penalty kill time there. Set a screen by Georgia, but Henderson playing that well, not letting them get an opportunity. with being short-staffed there, letting everyone on the Gamecocks get back. Great stop there defensively. Put it up, not going to go in. However, it is going to drain that penalty clock completely. 5 seconds and counting down. So we're going to have full 5-on-5 hockey here for the last 2 minutes of the game. 3-1 in favor of the Gamecocks. Owen Thomas getting pulled there by one of the Bulldogs players. Nothing called. Bulldogs at the top of the key now. Of course, full strength, so everyone has a man. And a lovely save by Hayes again, putting it over the net and behind him. Fighting for the puck is Owen Thomas, and previously another teammate as well. And that is all the way out in the zone again. Previously it was McGowan. Greeley is there, pushing that, trying to drain every last second of that clock off. Owen Thomas there, trying to get a poke, but no luck. Chong's there now in front of Zach Hayes, and it's not going anywhere. And we're getting a little chippy, of course. Even with 1:17 left, it doesn't matter. But Zach Hayes with a lovely pad save there, stoppage of play, and we are looking at 1:17 left in this hockey game.
And late in this third period, we've seen the refs allow a little more physicality. As we saw Owen Thomas get dragged down by the neck, it looked like, and they let it play on, which, you know, in fairness, is going definitely both ways, as we've seen some big hits. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Personally, I think it's a lot of fun to watch. You know, see, just saying, let's see both teams go at it. Definitely makes for a very entertaining third period.
Absolutely, got to let the guys play. They're here to play for a reason. It's been a fantastic game, one of my personal favorites between this season and last season as well.
Definitely, we seem to have a little timeout here as both teams as well as the referees are talking things over.
Well, I know one thing is for sure. We had a share of Gamecocks score, 1 apiece, of course. Flaherty to start the scoring, and then right after, Chong 2 goals in the second period, and then to extend the lead in the third was Pineda. And I still think, however, my MVP has to be Zach Hayes. I mean, the saves that he has made tonight, especially when we've been ahead and the Bulldogs have been giving that little extra fight, trying to give this game a little bit more of a fire on their side. I mean, Hayes has played phenomenal.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was going to say the goal scorers have been great. The teamwork really in all of those goals was very evident. But the piece that's held them together all night has been the brick wall and Zach Hayes. And especially late in this third period with, 6 skaters for the Bulldogs, he's been fantastic.
Absolutely, very locked in for these last 2 minutes when they've had an empty net. Remaining in the Gamecock zone here. McGowan putting out to Pineda, who puts it into the neutral zone as we're going to fall just under a minute left in this game. Back to the neutral zone. Bulldogs have it now. That went past and into the Gamecock zone now for the Bulldogs, number 17 there. But quick to put it back in the neutral zone. Heads up play by Pineda there to drain even more clock as we fall under 45 seconds left. McGowan here with the puck, just clearing it. At this point, I think the boys are trying to keep it as far away from Hayes as possible. And I don't know about you, Spencer, but I think he has absolutely deserved that rest for this last 45 seconds here.
Absolutely, and it just makes sense. Up 2 goals, you don't really need to do anything. There's an open net if you can get a shot towards goal, but really just clearing the puck and letting the clock do all the work for you.
Absolutely. That looked to be off a Georgia player, I think. So that may be another face-off here coming shortly. Stuck in the net, actually. 17.3 seconds left in this game. And we already talked about the player of the game, but I'm going to have to say play of the game was that backwards behind-the-back pass by Zach List, leading to Berman, leading to eventually that Pineda goal. I mean, that I have not seen something like that. And I've watched plenty of professional hockey, and this is college children, college kids.
And it was absolutely evident that it worked as the defender just went falling. He completely bit into the shot fake. And then the pass, I completely agree with you. Fantastic pass.
Absolutely. Calling that safe. However, Puskar's up there. Any sort of shot would ice this. Misses, however, but that does not matter. Clock will expire, and the Gamecocks win 3-1. And what a game from both sides. But, of course, Gamecocks come out on top.
And as you're now here in the 5th and final sandstorm of the night, I mean, as you mentioned, a great game from both teams. the Gamecocks were able to win it out, but just a great game of hockey here.
Hayes getting the recognition he deserves from his teammates. Everybody knows, players and fans alike, that he absolutely put in the work tonight. That is all from here in Irmo, South Carolina, a 3-1 Gamecocks W. I am Tommy Cooper here with Spencer Ball, and we will see you next week as we take on Clemson.